and positive, negative, and no correlation.
How do we draw those graphs? The best of our ability?
Yeah, don't be crazy about it. Just make some dots and make the dots look like these dots. Okay, 5.7 scatter plots and trend lines. So when we talk about a trend line is a line that divides these dots as evenly as possible, having just as many dots on one side of the line as the other side of the line. So this one has a positive trend line. This one would have a negative trend line. And this one, no trend line, because we could draw a trend line right there. We split the dots. We could draw a trend line right here. We split the dots. We could draw a trend line this way or this way. So that's why this has a correlation of 0. There's no accurate trend line you could draw. The closer the dots are to the trend line, the more accurate the predictions you can make are. Okay? So you can make pretty accurate predictions with this set of dots here and this set of dots. Remember as well that this silly face we drew, what do the little zeros mean on the edges of the mouth? Zero slope. That's why it's a zero, zero slope. Like you use the things that I teach you, right? What's the little U mean? Undefined, undefined. Positive slope, right? It's increasing from left to right. That's positive. Decreasing from left to right is negative. Okay, so that's why if you look at these trend lines up here, if we were to draw that trend line in, this is going in a positive direction. This one's coming in a negative direction. Okay? Yep?
Are those the only things where you're allowed to draw lines?
Well, I could draw, well, this one, you can't draw a line that separates it. So that one, we draw a trend line there and about there.
But like, could you maybe like draw like a diagonal line a little further from the original?
It doesn't matter. That one just has no correlation. What's up? Abby? She's like, what? I didn't do it. All right. So did you get that down? You good on that? Anyone need more time? Okay. So draw this chart for me, please. One of them's homework, so.
7 pages.
Write that chart down. Okay, write altitude and temperature. So you're in a plane and we're talking about how the temperature decreases, the outside temperature decreases. Writing it down? Now you are. Okay, I want that whole chart written down. We're going to graph this. We're going to make a scatter plot, which is the data points on the graph. And then we're going to draw in a trend line. And then we're going to come up with the equation of that trend line. You will have to reproduce this sort of activity on the test. Scatter point, trend line, and write the equation. So the X is always going to be the top, the Y is going to be the bottom. So it goes up to 5,000, so I'm going to skip a spot and calm down. It's going to be okay. Or it's not going to be. It'll be very sad for you. It's funny because I write slow. $3,029. 3,500 is 18. 4,000 is 26. 4,500 is 12. 5,000 is 0.6. Okay, so when you draw your trend line after you have it figured out here, you just take a general shot and try to get roughly as many points on one side as the other. Right, and then with the fancy smartboard here, I can adjust my trend line. I could move it just a little bit, like that. A little more here. That's good. So I'll give you a minute to get that down. So the way we get the slope is you pick two dots that are on the line, right? I could have picked this dot as well, that's fine. Could have picked that dot. I just picked these two dots because they were right on the line, okay? So we're going to get the slope using those two dots. So we've got the point at 2,041.6. And we've got the point at 3,029.9. So we know we have the y equals. What we're looking for now is the m here. And we're going to have some crazy fraction. y2 minus y1, 29.9 minus 41.6. Ooh, frozen. Oh, don't worry. Oh, it's a pain in the middle of the equation to do it like that. I think we're good. It's weird how it stopped in the middle of a number. 29.9 minus 41.6. What's the bottom?
That is 3,000.
3,000 minus 2,000. Good. Many of you did the slopes right on the quiz. You just got to be consistent. Second one minus first one, second one minus first one. So second y minus first y, second x minus first x, like that. So here we get 29.9 minus 41.6. Anyone do it in their calculator yet? Nope. I'm pulling up my calculator. You can read, yay. 29.9 minus 41.6. You get 11.7, negative 11.7, thank you. So the slope is negative 11 point, what was it, 6? 7, thank you, over 1,000. And you can just leave your slope like that. So then if I had you make a prediction like what would the temperature be at 10,000, then you could come up with that temperature. Blaze. 66, because that's where it crosses the y-axis, like right up there. Right, because that would be 65 and then just slightly above 66. Any other questions on that? Yep, Madeline? But that's just these ordered pairs do start at 59.5, but that, so you want to say that should be the y-intercept, not this. It's because of our trend line, right? Because it's not going to be exactly where it is 0. It depends where the trend line hits. Because the dots are kind of scattered, so the trend line might be different. Okay, that's why. So good luck, Neva. Okay, look fantastic. All right, so write this chart down, please. We'll do one more of these, and then that's it. Yep. Okay, 5.8 tomorrow, review block day, test on Friday. Well, it's only 55 pounds in a year, right? Yeah, 55 pounds, so, you know, maybe 100 pounds after 2 years. You think how much you weigh after 2 years? It's like 20, 30 maybe, when you're 2. So we could go by ones on the bottom for the x. And then I'll go by 5s on the y-axis. And start graphing. They start skipping numbers after 4, so just pay attention to that. 8 is 37.9. 10, 49.2. 12. So that one is going to have really strong correlation, right? They're almost exactly on a line. Not quite, but almost. So if we draw that trend line in, that's pretty good. Let you get caught up with that. This is just kind of a tedious, long process with this, right? So because your test is going to be on a Friday, that means a regular class period. It'll be sitting on your desk as you come in on Friday. So time is of the essence. I'll have to make it a little bit shorter, the test, which is not always a good thing, because that means each problem is worth a little bit more if I make the test less problems. So really critical that you know all those formulas at the beginning of your quiz. Make sure you know those. So that's really strong correlation. All the points are almost exactly on that line. What is the y-intercept? So this would be 5, this is 0, this is negative 5. So in between 0 and negative 5? What's exactly in the middle of 0 and negative 5? Negative 2.5. Okay? So right here would be negative 2.5. So the B equals negative 2.5. And that's fine. You can get a negative y-intercept, so don't freak out if that's the case. Should my slope end up being positive or negative? Positive, right? Because this trend line is in a positive direction. So I'm going to pick these first 2 points, right? I could have picked later ones. Doesn't matter. I know these first 2 points are going to be smaller numbers, so it makes it a little bit easier. So I'm doing my slope out of these first 2 points. All I have to do is 7.6 minus 2.5 over 2 minus 1, which is going to be 5.1 over 1, or just 5.1, right? That's what our slope is. So now we have the slope and y-intercept, and we can write the equation. Yeah, tell me. Y equals... Now let's say I wanted to know this, because you'll have this additional question on your test. I want to know how much the panda weighs at 2 years or 24 months. Can't you just what? Nope. So 5.1, right? So this is where my 24 goes, and then minus 2.5. So the whole point of writing that equation is now we can plug in any number and figure out how much the panda should weigh. So 5.1 times 24 minus 2.5. So the panda should weigh 119.9 pounds. Right, so it weighs 119.9 pounds after 2 years. So like 4 times the weight of a human. Okay? That's all we got. So 5/8 tomorrow. Oh, I'm sorry, I lied. Write this one down too. Aww. So strong negative correlation is going to be -1. Correlation range from +1 to -1. 0 is like that first example, right? So if we have correlation of -1, that means every dot is going to fall exactly on that line. Right? So every dot is exactly on the line. That's perfect correlation. we have r equals 0, that's the one where it's just randomly spread all over the place like that. If we have r equals 1, then every dot just hits the line exactly, but positive slope. Okay? So r equals -1, r equals 0, r equals +1. Any Michigan fans in here? Haha.
I was gonna make a joke about the Browns, but
Yeah, but they won, and they killed Cincinnati, which is crazy. That was fun. It was a good sports weekend.
I didn't want New Orleans
the
after
LSU and Texas A&M.
Yeah, I don't.
I can't even imagine like, when they won the Super Bowl that one year.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine what it was like. It's crazy on regular nights.
right.